guys? Thanks so much for clicking on the video. My name is Leah, and let's recap and review Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. This is season 13, episode, I want to say 16. No, 15. It's 15. So let's get into, no, I don't know. Either way, it'll be correct on the description bar below, but let's get into it. So the episode opens up and we see Erica with her therapist. We've seen this therapist before. We've been seeing her, I think, for the past 2 seasons, but she has been the one to help Erica get through her situations when the walls came crumbling down, you know what I mean? So everything dealing with Tom and his case, and her also dealing with that and the blowback of the public being angry with Erica. So she's talking about how, you know, she is nervous about her Vegas residency, mainly because when she was with Tom, even though her and Tom didn't end on good terms, he was a great support system in the beginning, and also it was like she could fall back on him. Mind you, it makes sense because it's like you with somebody that got stolen people's money, but it's like you can make these mistakes and jump like out on faith, knowing that it makes it easier for you to jump out on faith, knowing that you have somebody back at home that, like, if it don't work out, you're still okay. You still gonna live this lavish and rich lifestyle off of other people's money. Okay, but you're going to be able to live this lifestyle. And I think when you think about it that way, it does make sense why, because let's be honest, Erica would not be Erica Jane with the little, like, her semi-global, or let me not say global, her semi-popular, maybe global, I don't know if they over there in China listening to Erica. They probably listening to Beyonce, but I don't know about Erica. But, you know, she was able to garner some success, and with the help of Tom's money. We know for a fact with the victims' money. But if you think about it, if she did not have that money, Erica would not be able to do what she did, and that's just what it is. And so I get her being nervous and scared to do the whole Vegas residency. On top of that, she talks about how she didn't know how upset and frustrated she was with the ladies when she was in Spain. And she said it was brought on, even though they did the whole tossing of feeling ceremony, really for the ladies not really acknowledging or having the effect that she wanted them, or the reactions she wanted them to have to the fact that she, I guess, won her appeal or was given an appeal based off of the whole situation with the diamond earrings. And she was just like, I just thought their reaction would be different, and I wanted it to be different. The therapist talks about how, you know, like, you wanted your friends to step up for you and they didn't, and that has shaped how you viewed a lot of them. And she was like, yes. But she was like, but I want to get to a better place where I'm not mad at them and where I'm not angry with them. Now, I get where Erica's coming from in the sense of, like, going through something and expecting others to treat you a certain way or to have different reactions to you. So in that regard, I can empathize with her and be like, dang, like, you see who was really, like, in your corner and who had your back, especially when it comes down to these types of situations. But if we talk about, like, the overall picture, girl, what they did was not a bad thing, in my opinion. They had every right to ask their friend questions when they're constantly seeing, like they said at the end of the episode, and we'll talk about it, constantly seeing news articles about what's going on. Like, every single day there's something new. And then when I ask you questions, you acting like you don't know what's going on when I know you do know what's going on. So them questioning Erica, I didn't have a problem with. Maybe they should have did it in a different way, but I don't think anybody really did anything wrong, to be honest, in my opinion. I already told y'all, and I said it last time, she wouldn't have had this whole blowback if she would have, again, had a benefit concert and showed humility. But she didn't give anybody any grace or empathy, but she wants others to give her that. So it's kind of making people just look at her like, eh. On top of that, y'all, so I know in one of the spicy corners, we talked about Erica doing what's it called? The Housewives and the Hustlers, the part 2 of it. Well, baby, the people is mad again. And I haven't watched it, but I went online to get a gist of, like, what people are frustrated about. And this Twitter user by the name of Blonde Haired Black Heart, I think they summarized everything very well. So I'm going to just read what they put on Twitter. But basically what happened was, in that documentary, there was a Emmy Award winning designer who used to make Erica's costumes that got caught up when this whole situation blew up in their faces. So it's saying Erica and Tom claimed $800,000 in charges on their cards were fraud done by her costume designer, despite him having all of the texts from her approving the designs and the charges. Because of Tom's connections, the designer was charged with wire fraud and set in prison for months before the charges were eventually dropped. He missed my bad, y'all, I'm tripping over my words. He missed the passing of his brother and his father while he was in prison. This designer is a legit Emmy Award winning designer who worked with A-listers. And then I also found out when I went through the comments and read is that also, I guess him and his partner were trying to, adopt. And because of this whole situation, the adoption fell through. So a lot of people are pissed all over again at Erica because they're just like, y'all really messed up this man's life. Like, he wasn't there to really be in real time with his family when his brother and his dad passed. And then if he wanted to start his family, he wasn't able to do that either because of y'all. So people are even more mad now. Now, I haven't seen the clip yet, but I'll put allegedly, just in case if anybody get itchy to sue, but I don't think they will. But we just always want to cover our bases over here because I have no money to give anybody. Okay. But if that's true, it also makes people look at Erica funny too, because it's like you were harping on how you didn't hurt anybody, and this is mainly like, I don't know what Tom did, but in a sense you did hurt someone because that caused a lot of detriment to somebody's life. So if you're asking everybody to give you grace, you should have you need to be giving grace to the people you harmed. We then get this scene of Sutton going to the horse stable. She's riding on her horse. I don't know if that's the horse that they got from overseas. Maybe they flew the horse over, but it was a really pretty horse. And she's riding. Avi's there taking pictures. She's talking about, let me concentrate, girl. And Avi's like, girl, I'm gonna still take my pictures. So he's taking pictures. You then see Kyle pull up, and then, Kyle throwing her slick shade at Sutton. And then they sit down at a picnic table to have a conversation. And Kyle is asking Sutton about, hey, like, how long have you and Christian been divorced? They also talk about Spain. And Sutton says, I think 5 or 6 years, or maybe 6 or 7 years. She was like, I always forget. Sutton talks about in her confessional where she feels like she let a lot go with the dumping of Mercer's ashes with her situation with her husband, because we also find out that her husband actually lived pretty close to her. He lived down the street from her. And with this new promotion that he has received at work, that is why he's going overseas to London. And she's like, a lot of things are changing for me. And she was like, I guess they still had a decent relationship. So it seems like even though Sutton and her husband really weren't like good when in their marriage, it seemed like once they got a divorce, they got to a better place, because in her confessional she expresses how like she was still able to like go and speak to him and talk to him when she needed to, or like if she needed something done, he would get it done. So it seems like they did create a relationship that worked for them after the divorce. So she is like, that's, I'm like, a lot of things are changing for her. So I think Sutton starts asking Kyle about Mauricio, and she's like, how are you and Mo? Kyle shares that her and Mauricio are going to counseling. She also expressed how, their lives, they're drifting apart pretty much. That's pretty much what's happening. Sutton brings up how, when her husband's career went up, hers kind of just stayed there. But when it comes to Mo and Kyle, they're going this way. So they're growing apart. And Kyle feels like she sacrificed a whole lot for her family. Like, she's a mom. She did the whole picking up the kids, dropping the kids off, helping Mauricio build the agency. She was with him when he had nothing. And then now she feels like he needs to start making sacrifices for her and putting her as a priority. And she doesn't feel like she needs to sacrifice anything anymore, which is understandable if you always feel like you're the one sacrificing. But Kyle's starting to irritate me, and we'll talk about it when we get to the bar scene. And it kind of sucks that, they are drifting apart. But if they're drifting apart, they're drifting apart. And I'm not the type of person to tell people to stay in relationships that don't work for them. If they can divorce amicably, I hope that that happens for them, because they still have kids together, so they're going to be in each other's lives. Hopefully that if they do separate, Kyle finds somebody, Mauricio finds somebody, and they're able to blend their families and, sell off into the sunset. But it just seems like Kyle feels like she sacrificed already and she doesn't want to sacrifice anymore. And even though her and Mauricio are in counseling, she just doesn't feel like it's doing what she wanted it to do. We then get this scene of Sutton on a date. We see that she back with Steve. I like Steve. Steve seems quirky, just like Sutton. They were at a bar. She pulled out like a little juice box, to mix with her drink. It was one of them little, is it Aquafresh or Aquafina? Whatever. Oh no, it's Ocean Fresh. I think that's the brand name. She put one of the little small bottles, poured it in her drink, mixed it together. I said, I'm not hating. If you like that certain juice, you like that juice. I know a lot of people's like, isn't that the sign of, alcoholism? I said, not really. I feel like you having juice in your bag is different. It's no different than people carrying around like hot sauce or like having ranch or like a specific type of ketchup they want to keep in their purse or keep in the car. It ain't that deep to me. As long as it's not actual alcohol, I guess you good with me. So they're laughing, they're having a good time. I like him, and I'm glad she got a second date. He seems to really like Sutton. He started stuttering, and no, he snorted, and he was like, he kind of got embarrassed, but I think that's a sign that he likes her too. So I hope they're still dating. I hope he's a good guy, and I hope things work out for her with him. So Mauricio and Kyle, I'm going to just say what I need to say, and I'm going to just be honest with it. I'm getting tired of this storyline with Kyle and Mauricio, mainly on Kyle's side, because Kyle is irritating the F-U-C-K out of me, because I don't like when people play in my set face, and I also don't like when people are not direct about their feelings. And it irritates me. It irritates me because, like I said on Twitter, Kyle is irritating me because, like, I'm not the person that says people need to stay together if it's not working for them. If the relationship is no longer working for you or you don't feel fulfilled in it, definitely separate. But don't give your partner false hope in thinking that y'all are going to work out if they do something or if they go to counseling just to be playing in their face. As well as stop playing in our faces as the viewers when people are asking you questions about this random 29 or 30-year-old you be kicking it with. And we're like, is that your friend? Is that your girlfriend? Because like you acting like that's your girl, but you telling us that's your friend. But I got friends that are girls that I ain't never acted the way Kyle be acting when people ask her about Morgan. So it's irritating. I'm just gonna say it's irritating. It's irritating. Her and Mauricio are sitting down at the bar. They're like talking about counseling. She's asking how does he feel about it. He says it's been fun. She get an attitude because she was like, that's not the adjective I would use because I haven't been smiling in those things in those counseling meetings. And he's like, well, I didn't mean it in that way. I'm saying it's fun to learn about how to communicate with you as well as learning about myself. And in that regard, I'm like, I can't really fault him if he feels like it's fun to get to know myself and the partner that I want to stay with. That's the part I'm talking about giving this man false hope, because he over here thinking, okay, we going to counseling. I'm learning how to talk to you better. I'm thinking we doing something, but you over here with an attitude because you checked out, and that's okay if you've checked out because you don't think this relationship fulfills you anymore. You over here crying in the confessional talking about I don't want to do things that my daughter I don't want to accept things that I don't want my daughters to accept. So are you saying you don't want to accept somebody who's cheating on you, who is like dismissive of you, who doesn't make you a priority? Put a name on it, because this whole being coy about it is irritating. Because if I'm supposed to feel for you, Kyle, I don't, because it's starting to feel like you running a play on Mauricio where he thinks y'all good, but y'all really not good. And he trying to get it together, but you just not telling him what it is. And I wish he would just tell us what it is. Like, did he cheat? Yes or no? Okay, like yes or no? Or do you feel like he didn't show up for you when it came to Lorraine's passing? Or do you feel like you've been sacrificing and for years you haven't been feeling like a priority, that now that you at this age where your child about to leave? Because then she got mad about that when he was like, we're about to be empty nesters and we have to learn how to reconnect, and she's like, no, we're not. And I was like, Your Portia is, I think, like 14 years old or 15 years old. Because it wasn't last season she had her bat mitzvah. So that means she's 13. In about a good, what's it called? 5 years, she gonna be going to college. That comes very quickly. And for him to be in that mindset of like, okay, we're about to be empty nesters, we have to work with each other. If anything, so that we're talking about this season, if that was filmed last season, so Portia is 14. Okay, so they got 4 more years or 3 more years now. And I'm just like, if he's preparing for that, why aren't you trying to prepare with him? Then she's like, I just need him to be present. That to me is it a man telling me, girl, I need to learn how to reconnect with you because now it's just going to be back to just being us. That is me. That's me thinking that man is living in the present, or that's a sign to me that that man is living in the present because he want to make sure the present is okay, so our future will be okay. That's the part where Kyle is losing me because I'm like, you're saying you want one thing and he's trying, but you're not trying to meet him halfway because you're not there anymore. And if you're not there anymore, again, that is okay, but don't give somebody false hope because I've had that happen to me and it pisses me off. Okay, it pisses me off because I will plan for that, and then I'm doing all this stuff to help to make the situation better, but it's not working. That is aggravating. It makes me want to punch you in the face because just tell me you don't want this no more. Because if you tell me, then I will be able to deal with the feelings of like, okay, you don't want this anymore, so how do I move on from this? This is she irritating me. Kyle is irritating me. Okay, she is irritating me. All right, y'all. So then we have the scene of Garcelle with her sons. Now we all know, unfortunately, Jax experienced cyberbullying last season, and I high key think it was at the hands of that lip licking lady with them bots, or the lady that's lips are inflated like a balloon. But that's just me. I could be wrong. They ain't never found out who did it, but that's how I feel. So pretty much they are filming a PSA for it. We then have this moment where Garcelle pretty much tells Jax, you've been wanting freedom and you've proven to me that you're mature enough to have freedom. I also understand as your mother, I have to parent you differently than your twin brother. So the freedom would be him in Ubers, like being able to go take Ubers with his friends. Mind you, that wasn't really a big thing to me, mainly because I've been seeing too many like commercials about Uber Teen that it just was like, oh, that's all he wanted. Maybe it like, but I do think that is a big step of freedom for somebody, especially when you're like 16 or 15 years old, for you to be able to get in a car and go somewhere without like an adult that your parent knows, or like because it's just random people picking you up, you know what I mean? But it's just kind of like, that's the kind of freedom he wanted. I don't know. I was just like, okay, cool. So we get to Amars Diamond Mother's Day brunch. Mind you, there was a scene where Amari and her husband, she was in her scrubs and her stuff like that, and she was talking to him about doing the brunch and how she wants to talk to Crystal and have this day for the ladies. Now, I'm trying to figure out, was this like an actual like throwaway scene, like they really didn't want to have the husband in there, or was this thrown away because of the whole situation that they're facing legally? Now, we also don't know if Anne-Marie we know Anne-Marie's supposed to be like a friend of the show, and I wonder if this was just like on the floor B-roll footage that like they just had, and once they realized they wanted to make her an actual diamond holder, they picked this up. That's just how my brain was working when I saw this scene. But I was like, okay, cool. So they pull up to Anne-Marie's house. It looks really nice. She has 2 guys serving champagne outside of the house. The house looks lovely. The food look good. They got the diamonds there. I think the jeweler's name is Jason, so it's like Jason. I think it's like Jason Jeweler, or Jason's something by Jason in Beverly Hills. I don't know. Couldn't remember the name. But the man who with the diamonds is here. So we see Garcelle pull up first. Then we see Kyle. Then it's, what's her name? Erica. So we see them looking at the jewels. They got like a $3.5 million necklace there that they flew in from Hong Kong, or I think she said Hong Kong. I think she said Hong Kong or Japan. No, an Asian country. Okay. Then they also, Erica and Garcelle were trying on $1 million like ring, where Garcelle said, girl, I don't even know where I would wear that at. On top of that, this is the type of ring you give a BJ every morning to your man. And Erica said, and I would gladly do it. I said, we know you would. We seen what you did for your money. You know what I mean? So everyone's having a good time. And mind you, Anne-Marie ain't been my favorite. She has not been my favorite. But she gained points with me with this display of a Mother's Day brunch, because it's funny how on Potomac, that lady said her daddy was a rich bitch, but she had them girls in hand-me-down pajamas. Didn't even get a lady pajamas. Didn't have, even on Miami, they had embroidered pajamas. Okay? Didn't give them girls pajamas and had them unboxing boxes at her house. Whereas we at brunch with diamonds. Diamonds, you know, the disparity of wealth here, ma'am. The disparity. But everyone's having a good time. And like I said, Garcelle, Erica, and Kyle are there. We have a situation where Erica and Anne-Marie have a conversation, and Anne-Marie was like, well, how you been feeling since we've been back from Spain? And Erica ends up saying, like, you know, it was a good time, but I didn't know how angry I was at the ladies. And Anne-Marie was like, yeah, I was kind of shocked too, but she was like, I want to be saying the same thing. I want to be in a better place with them. Then Anne-Marie says she really wants to talk to Crystal because we never really finished what we had going on, and I don't want to harbor this resentment towards her. And I'm like, girl, you're acting like y'all have been beefing for years. Like this is some like Kenya and Portia beef, you know, like it's been going on season after season after season. Y'all just had like a tiff or like a little spat, and that's it. Like it's like Amber, you laying it on thick. Chill out, girl. Chill out. So then we see Crystal and Dorit pull up, and mind you, y'all, I meant to talk about this last episode, but I definitely think the rumors about Dorit not having money the way she used to do, or her and PK's, you know, scams, ain't been working. Let me stop. Because that one confessional that they showed last episode, and I wish I would have took like a picture of it, where she looked real pedestrian. Look cute though, but the lady looked real it just looks like a regular t-shirt that she got off of Shein with a nice hair. I said, Dorit. Not Miss Dorit, who normally be giving us fashions, not giving us fashions, okay? Like, even this outfit she had on here, I said, Dorit, this is life is hard. And that comment that one person said about Dorit going brunette because she ain't had the money to keep up blonde is starting to reign even more truer as the season keeps going on. What will be the telltale sign that Dorit's fashions ain't hitting is when we see that reunion look. If that reunion look is not doing what I think it needs to do, I'm gonna know right then and there there's issues. But they walk in, and Crystal and Anne-Marie have a conversation, and I don't know why Crystal keeps divulging her medical history to Anne-Marie. You was making fun of her, like, well, I don't say making fun of her, but you were pretty skeptical about her, and you were saying how, like, you be going around telling people you're a doctor and you're a nurse, to now you just sitting here telling her your medical history and your doctor's visits. That's weird to me. And then, so Anne-Marie and her have a conversation. It pretty much absolves itself. Anne-Marie says she wants to move forward. Crystal said they want to move forward, and they hug. Mind you, while they're having a conversation, Sutton and all the other ladies, because Sutton pulls up. Sutton be acting old as dirt. She was over there complaining about walking up the steps without a guardrail. And I'm like, Sutton, okay. This is why people be thinking you older than what you are, man. You're 52. You're not 79. Chill out. Chill. So she comes in, but like I said, they were all watching Anne-Marie and Crystal have a conversation, and it was pretty funny because they were like, we're supposed to pretend like we not listening, but we listening though. So they were all like, I wonder how they do. So the last scene we have is of Erica and the rest of the ladies sitting down in Anne-Marie's den, and pretty much Erica gets straight to how she's feeling about the ladies. She feels like for the past 2 years they've pretty much added to her strife and her pain and her anxiety with her whole situation with dealing with the court case. She also feels like with her having this appeal, she just expected them to like have a different response from her, like at least congratulate her or at least apologize for the way they treated her, because she's always said let it play out in the courts. Well, Dorita's looking at her like, girl, we did support you for the past 2 years and we continue to support you, and we've done it low key at a detriment to ourselves. So why like, what are you talking about? So then they flash back to I think this was like season 12, not 12, no, season 11. And they had that sit down because it said 2020, where, or maybe it might be season 9 or 10. Girl, either way, it was with that sit down where Erica had on that white hair and she was like, that one tear came down. This is my life. And that one tear came down her cheek. And she was going off at Sutton, and like Sutton felt threatened and all of that stuff. And Dorit pretty much told Erica, like, we have your back, but what are we supposed to expect when every time we get online, it's a new story? And we're trying to understand and make sense of what's going on with our friend, and you're not being very open about that. So Dorita's looking at her like, girl, we had your back. So what you talking about? Then Kyle chimes in. And Kyle says the same thing. Like, I only question, she was like, I've always had your back. I just wanted you to show more compassion. But I've never really been like, you knew what Tom was doing. You was out here in cahoots with him and like perpetrating, like, you know, you were a full perpetrator of what was happening. She was like, me and Dorit was on your team. It was Garcelle and Crystal and Sutton that was in your grill like that, sis. So Crystal doesn't even speak up. The camera pans to her. She look around, everybody on mute. It's me and my crew. Yeah. She don't say nothing. Or maybe she did say something, because the way they've been doing Crystal, they be cutting out what she say. So Garcelle speaks up and she pretty much says, I didn't want you to fall. I didn't want you to crash and burn. I just had an opinion, and I don't think I should be like, I'm not saying sorry for that, pretty much. Which I don't fault Garcelle, and I don't think she needed to apologize, because I think it was okay for them to have opinions. When you think about, like, even what Dorit said, girl, every single day there was article after article after article, and it was painting a very dark and bad picture of you. And you, as my friend, if I ask you about these, you should just be honest if you think I should like support you. That's my thing. I probably would have been in the middle like Dorit or like Garcelle, where I'm like, I'm going to question you. I don't want to see you locked up or, you know, in prison with your husband. But I'm seeing these articles after like one after another, and they are not painting a good picture of you. If I ask you a question about them, I feel like you should be able to answer it, especially if you think we still gonna be friends and be running in the same clique. And I don't think they wrong for that. Well, Sutton ends up apologizing. Sutton says, you know what? I'm sorry that I contributed to the pain and the hurt that you have been feeling. Like, that wasn't my case. And I don't even think Sutton should have apologized, because in my opinion, Sutton was asking the right questions and she was trying to protect her money, which I don't fault her. Okay, I don't. Okay, because girl, you're not gonna have people looking at me funny because I'm friends with you. No, ma'am. But Sutton, again, I feel like Sutton was asking good questions, but Sutton felt inclined to apologize. And she ends up saying she realized that Erica really needed this apology, because she was like, she's crying. So she was like, she probably needed to hear this from one of us. And at first, I felt like Erica was laying it on thick, but I don't think Erica's a good actress. And then I realized, like, oh my god, like, she really is crying. So in that regard, I can sympathize with her, where it's like again, like I said, you expected people to have a different response to you as you were going through something. Like, you expected those that you thought you were close to or had your back when everything was good to be there when everything was bad. And it was probably like a very isolating and lonely feeling to look around, and very hurtful to look around and see the people that you thought was going to have your back didn't have your back at all. And you felt like you were just thrown to the wolves. Now, like I said, I can sympathize and I can empathize with that, because I've been there in certain situations. But I can also understand where the ladies were coming from, where they was just like, girl, I got questions and you need to answer them. You need to answer them. But I did peep Garcelle looking at Sutton, hugging on Erica, and it kind of gave like, girl, you really, we've had conversations. You was not feeling sorry when we was talking one-on-one, and now you in the group. Now you feeling sorry, and maybe so. But I also think Sutton is genuine about like what she said, because I don't think Sutton would apologize if she didn't mean it. Like and y'all know over here I tell you, don't apologize if you don't mean it, you know. But I think that is what I think she really did want to give Erica an apology. Especially where Erica keeps saying how hurt she was. Because for the past 2 or 3 years, Sutton has been steadfast in being like, girl, I got questions. You gonna answer my questions. To now, I think since they're away from it and she realizes Erica wasn't fully involved, I think she feels like, yes, I can now give you an apology, in my opinion. But yeah, y'all, that was the end of the episode. Hey, y'all, that is it. That is all. Remember to be bravely authentic, okay? But definitely drop down in the comments below. Let me know if you think Erica deserved an apology. Have you seen the Housewives and the Hustlers? And if you have, let me know your thoughts about it. As well as, am I the only one that's irritated by this Kyle storyline? Or am I just doing too much? Let me know. Be respectful, though. But let me know in the comments. And I'm out, y'all. Deuces.